Right. Okay, so welcome everyone to Healy Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday. Today, so this is really popcorn style. So if you want to join in, ask questions, please share your experiences. Or kind of just, I do present some information, but then it's very free flowing in terms of like full participation or, however, whatever feels good for you in terms of just listening and learning. And this is really about product empowerment, how learning about how to use the Healy and to its full capacity, right? So that we really have a good understanding and we're using it in a really intentional way to get maximum benefits from the frequencies. So let me just pull up the presentation. Okay, so can you guys see that? Okay, perfect. So this is Wellness Wednesday, hosted by Jenny and myself. Jenny is in Orlando right now. There's a big Healy event happening this week. So that's probably why there's not less people this week. But so just to share about Healy's mission, which is to create revolutionary products and opportunities to empower you to thrive and live a life of freedom, passion, and joy, and really delivering frequencies for your life. So supporting you in all the ways. And their vision is to empower people to live a healthy, fulfilled, and conscious life, and to inspire the growing community to make a continuous positive impact on humanity. So these calls are really about product empowerment. It's just about learning, about people sharing their experiences of how they're using the Healy. I share mine of how I'm using it for myself and also how I've integrated it into my holistic health practice with clients that have cancer. And also I've expanded into hormone balancing. So I will talk about that a little bit later in the call today about how I introduce it to clients and have them use it and really so that they feel empowered in their own health and healing journey. So in the last call 2 weeks ago, we discussed the Heal Advisor app and then also using the programs with intention and consciousness. And when we bring this sort of level of consciousness to the frequencies, it's not just some additional tool that we have that we need to do in a day. It's like really, I talked about how I really have a reverence for the frequencies of how it's so impactful in my life on a daily basis. And when we come from that space, how much more beneficial it is when we use the Healy. So that replay is on YouTube. And then there's also a link in the Telegram group. So I can share that at the end as well. So for today's focus, we're going to talk about foundational frequencies. So gold cycle programs. So we're going to dive deep into those. And these are really how I instruct my new clients and customers. So it's really about learning and empowering. And so this is a culmination of information that I've gathered through Healy, from Healy trainings, through Nina, who created the gold frequencies or the gold cycle frequencies. And then also a naturopath from Germany called Dr. Christa Kronhart. She has a whole book about the gold cycle frequencies and how she uses it with her clients as well. And then at the end, I will discuss my daily and weekly routines, and then also would love to open it up to hear how other people are using it. Because when we use it, there's no right or wrong way. And I think that everybody has their own methods of what is working for them, but it also opens up the space to learn some new things and try different ideas and different methods so that we're all fully empowered. Okay, so foundational frequencies. These are the gold cycle frequencies. As I said, these are created by Nuno Nina. He is a integrative medicine practitioner based out of Portugal, and he has decades of wisdom and knowledge and experience working with frequencies. So the gold cycle has 7 programs, and he really designed them in a way to be used sequentially. I don't know that everybody knows that, and different people use it, as I said, in different ways, but I really wanted to go through each one individually so that we really have an understanding of why he organized them this way, and really, again, about creating this stronger intention and consciousness about each individual one. I think quite often, people maybe gloss over the gold cycle or don't use it. I still use it on an almost daily basis, at least one of them. But these are really the foundational frequencies, as I said. And so Nina created these gold cycle programs to provide support and rejuvenation, recovery from negative environmental influences, to optimize energy balance, to increase feelings of vitality, well-being, and then also promoting relaxation. So this is really where the foundation of, once we restore this bioenergetic terrain within our bodies, that then we're sort of more open, because these are detox frequencies, and we're more open to receive deeper healing with all the other programs that are available with Healy as well. Any questions? You guys are good? Okay, so gold cycle. So Pure is really the ideal starting point for anyone using the Healy for the first time, or if you want to kind of like restart, it's a great place to begin. So they're designed to help the energy field of each cell recover from environmental pollutants, from toxins, any unhealthy diet, or any other negative factors, whether that be physical, mental, or emotional. So this is as I said, this is the basis of any frequency protocol, is starting with Pure. And so according to Nina, he says that this helps, the Pure program helps restore the ideal balance of the biological terrain, and it also helps recover the electrical health of the body's cleansing highways. So this is why these are known as detox frequencies. It's really opening up the pathways so that then we can have more free-flowing energy, and again, using the other programs on a deeper level. So Pure detoxes on all levels, on a physical level, on a mental level, and in the emotional realm as well. So Care is the second level. So after completing the first level, according to Nina, he says you use the Pure first for a period of time, and then you move on to Care. And this is really about, once the biological terrain is restored with Pure program, then you move on to the second level, which is Care. And he sort of describes it as strengthening your energy field using these frequencies, but also including, adequate hydration, healthy nutrition, exercise, movement. These are really these foundational practices is really what helps restore the bioenergetic balance, and provides the care for both our internal and external health and environment. And so Care is our defense shield of our electrical health, and it really boosts the immune system and balances bodily functions. So many acute and chronic conditions are associated with a weakened bioenergetic field. They've done lots of studies around this. I see this a lot with my cancer clients, where they're in this weakened state, both physically but also bioenergetically. And so Care is a really beautiful program to kind of help restore that, restore the immune system, and also to boost the bioenergetic field. Now, Balance is an ideal program for deep bioenergetic balancing of the body's overall energy field. So this helps to bioenergetically balance the kidneys, circulation, lymphatic system, and hormones. So how I describe it to clients is like, balance is really about anything that's flowing through the body. The balance frequencies help to optimize that flow. So it's really optimizing the chi through all the things that are moving through our body, lymphatic system, our blood, anything that's circulating through the body. Balance frequencies help with that. So it's really about the fine balance of these various bodily functions that contribute to our overall health and well-being. And so Nina says that also the balance can be used, like if you're already in a state of bioenergetic balance, that this program is really beautiful for stabilizing that balanced state. So it's not always about trying to acquire balance, but if you're already in a state of balance, if you've been working with the frequencies for a while, this is a great program for helping maintain that. In Being, I love Being. Being is an amazing one. And so how Healy describes it is, what balance is for the body, Being is for the soul. So Being is really detox frequencies for emotions. And Nuno says that it's the bioenergetic support for emotional health in order to balance your electrical feelings. So it's really that kind of balance of the two aspects. And the Being program helps us regain emotional balance and remain centered, so in more difficult times. So I really love running Being during my cycle. When I'm feeling kind of like I could use some emotional support, this is my go-to to help restore that balance within myself. emotionally. So relax. The relax are anti-stress frequencies, and these really work by promoting muscular bioenergetic relaxation. So it works at a physical level. It's recommended as a complementary program. So especially for anybody that suffers from high tension or some stress, anxiety, relax are really the frequencies that help kind of tone and balance the parasympathetic nervous system. So it moves you out of that fight flight into more of like a rest and digest. And so Healy designed the relax programs to help you let go of daily stress, and then just kind of restore that sense of balance within ourselves and our lives. And then release restores the electrical potentials of the cells. So this program is really intended for pain situations. So if there's any kind of unpleasant sensations, again, at a physical, mental, or emotional level, if you're having any stressors within these realms, release is really great. So the release program works to systematically organize and harmonize the bioenergetic field of the body, no matter where the unpleasant sensations are located, and no matter also within what realm it's happening. So if it's happening in a physical realm, release helps you release pain, lactic acid. On an emotional level, it's really about letting go. And on a mental level, it's really about, letting go of the thoughts and really finding that place of rest and relaxation. So the release is great on its own, or it also can be used in addition to any of like the classic applications within the pain and stimulation programs that come after the gold frequency. Okay, so those are the gold cycle. Those are the foundational frequencies. Kind of a quick deep dive into this. I can also share the presentation if anybody is interested, so that if you wanted to review some of these notes that they're available. Because it is a culmination of a variety of different resources and information that I've gathered from different sources. Okay, so I use something called frequency focused therapy with my clients. And now anybody that starts working with me, I have them invest in a Healy for themselves and for their own well-being and full empowerment of them with their health and healing journey. And so initially I start them on an 8-week protocol. And so I just wanted to quickly go through of what this looks like for how I use it with my clients. There's no right or wrong. Again, different people do different things. And so this is just the program that I've created to really allow them to implement it in a way that's not overwhelming, that's kind of simple, and just kind of start the process of frequency therapy for themselves. And so the first 2 weeks, I really see them as foundational frequencies. So I really encourage increase in hydration, so drinking a lot more high quality and quantity of water. The frequencies are really sensitive to this. So whenever we're working with frequencies, I always encourage people to drink water beforehand and also after. This is like energetic acupuncture. And so, it can detox the body. And so we want to be replenishing with water so that it can flush out the toxins and also hydrate the cells. So I have my clients begin with gold cycle twice a day. Generally one in the morning and one in the evening, but whatever works with their schedule. And this is direct microcurrent. So using the wrist straps or the sticky pads so that the microcurrent is going directly into the body. And this really allows the body to start working with the frequencies and become attuned to the energies. So for the first 2 weeks, I'm only having them run pure in the morning, and then in the evening running either relax or release. And just encouraging them to try the 2 different ones and see what works for them the best, and really kind of paying more attention to how they're sleeping, how they're feeling, so that they can become more empowered about using these frequencies for their own healing. Now, also, if they are experiencing any acute symptoms, so quite often my patients come in and they have pain, maybe they have discomfort, maybe they have other things going on. And so according to Dr. Krista Cronhart, she says address the acute symptoms first. And so that has been working quite well with my clients. So whether that is running pain frequencies or using any of the programs within the bioenergetic harmony 1 and 2, because these are the digital first aid frequencies. So if you're having symptoms, these are great programs to run to support that and help clear those unpleasant sensations. And if they're not having any acute symptoms, then supporting the body with these detox programs such as kidneys or gastrointestinal system, because those are really the pathways. So we want to clear the pathways so that then we can rebuild after. So I suggest no more than 3 direct microcurrent programs per day. So they're running the 2 gold cycle, and if that's sufficient, then they just use that. And if they want to add in one additional one during the day, then they can use that. Also, if people are experiencing any detox symptoms, then less is more in terms of frequency. It's really about supporting the body through this process. So just kind of building that awareness around how they're feeling and how the frequencies can support them through that process. So in weeks 3 and 4, so for the next 2 weeks, I kind of divide these up into 2-week chunks. And so in weeks 3 and 4, this is really about nervous system support. So rest and relax. So again, gold cycle in the morning. Now they can continue to use pure or move on to care, or use like on alternate days of pure and care. And then in the evening, again, relax or release. And so at this time, they can start to incorporate other programs that they have based on the addition that they have of the Healy. So they can start to focus on sleep. They can start to maybe focus or support the adrenal glands, or start to reduce their stress. And any of the mental balance, those are amazing. And then fitness in particular, I love deep relaxation and regeneration. And so part of the focus of this nervous system support is really helping them move out of a stress state into more of a relaxed state. And once we are in this state, then it's a deeper cleanse can happen within the body. Again, having them pay attention to detox symptoms that are happening, and then using any of the frequencies in the other programs to support the organ detoxification that might be happening. And also the support, as I said, the adrenal glands, and it helps the body move back into a parasympathetic state. So this is more of our rest, digest, and repair state. And once we do that, then our body is way more receptive to the frequencies, but we need to help it get to that place so that it can start to heal and repair. So in addition to the frequencies, I also have them continue with hydration, and then start to bring in more awareness around healthy nutrition. And then if they're open to it, adding in more meditation and mindfulness practices. So it's starting to work at all the levels. So at the beginning, we're starting with just more water, running frequencies, and then it's like a layered approach that I use so that it feels very sustainable for them to implement and prevent overwhelm. So in weeks 5 and 6, this is really about rebalance and rejuvenation. So this is energy activation. So again, with a gold cycle, 2 times daily. So now it's expanded. They can choose from care, balance, being, energy. If they also want to use pure, that's, I just have them pick one of those ones to run in the morning. And then in the evening, either release, relax, or if they wanted to support sleep, they can use the sleep frequency. So picking one of those in the evening. And then at this time, because I feel like they've had the month to incorporate and really get used to it, often they're starting to experience some really positive benefits. We do a more frequency-focused therapy. So this is having the clients pick their focus, and then using the programs beyond the gold cycle. So in addition to the gold cycle, of starting to use some of the other programs to support their focus. So it's really about them selecting what they want, and then either using the Heal Advisor based on the frequencies that are suggested in there, and also based on my experience of which ones to focus on. So, if there are things that they might want to focus on are sleep, more stress management, maybe they want more mental balance. So it's really personalized depending on what that person and what they're working through. So beyond the frequencies, again, continue with hydration, starting to deepen their relationship with healthy nutrition, the meditation and mindfulness practices. And now we start to incorporate more daily and regular movement, which is my nice word for exercise, but just moving the body more. And at this time where they're starting to feel like they've moved through the detox process, where, they might have had some more intense symptoms. At this time, I find that there's an uptick in energy. And so they're starting to feel a lot better as the detoxification process is really underway. They start to notice positive changes. Maybe their sleep patterns have improved. They're able to relax and release a little bit better. Maybe they notice a change in their thought patterns. And so, this is really the time where the energy activation is really also facilitates a strengthening of the digestive system and their immune system. Their fatigue should be lower, their pain and inflammation should be lower. And so it's really encouraging them to really step into these healthy practices of lifestyle and frequencies to support them with their healing and their health. And then in the final 2 weeks, this is really about energy integration. So this is regeneration and then release. So continuing with the gold cycle 1 to 2 times daily at this time. So they're free to use all the programs. So at this stage, they're really comfortable with using the frequencies if they've been working with them on a regular basis. And they can really start to tap into their own needs, their own intuition. Again, working with the focused therapy where they're selecting something and they're working with it. It's also the time where I notice that people are really more open to diving in deeper in the mental and emotional realms. So I start to do more analysis, either with the aura analysis or the coaching module, or we dive deep into the resonance analysis with the bush flowers, the creative homeopathy, Bach flowers, Schussler salts. So these ones are really beautiful energy medicines on their own, where we can start to dive deeper into that to facilitate deeper healing. And then in terms of their lifestyle, again, hydration, they should be well underway with nutrition, feeling really good, hopefully creating, a short meditation or mindfulness practice, and also the daily regular movements. And this is the time where there's really integration. So they've made so many changes in this, 8-week period of really just honoring that process of integration and hopefully inspiration to dive even deeper and develop a deeper relationship with the frequencies and their newfound health practices. And at this time too, I start to see more of a relationship developing with intuition, where they feel a sense of which frequencies does my body need right now? How can I support myself best? And really about full empowerment around using those for themselves, and less like I'm there to support, but really just as a guide, and they're the sort of in their own driver's seat of their health and their healing. So any questions, please jump in and ask her on that. And so I just wanted to share how I use the frequencies, and then I would love to open up the space and hear how maybe some of you use your frequencies. So for me, on a daily basis, I run the frequencies in the Healy Pink Dot app, which is the longer IMF programs. So I use maybe 2 to 3, depending on the focus that I'm working on, or depending on the analysis of what comes up in the Heal Advisor suggestions, or the resonance analysis suggestions of what my body could use support with. And then in the evening, quite often I run release, gold cycle release, or deep relaxation, which is in the fitness. And my favorites right now is rebalance, which is in the power of 3. It's 102 minutes, but I feel amazing at the end of it. I feel super rebalanced and just really grounded. So this is one that I try to run, not daily, but a few times a week. And then activation is another one of my favorites. And then also wealth frequencies, which I purchase separately. And then about 3 times a week, I will do a resonance analysis and then vibrate those frequencies. So I usually do gold cycle followed by deep cycle. And then I tend to choose either chakras or meridians. Sometimes I do both, but it really just depends on time. And then a digital nutrition mixture. I like to run those in the longer programs as well, but I also like to run these within the vibration, which I'm starting to kind of use more in balance with the programs, the longer programs. And then weekly, I will do an aura analysis. So I like to do this on Sunday, where I have the time and the space to really sit down and dive deep into each of the chakras and what comes up in the analysis, and then to vibrate that. And then I will quite often use that aura analysis. Like I'll vibrate that, the same one, those same frequencies at different times during the week. Sometimes with my meditation practice as well, I'll sit with the mantras that come up in the aura analysis, and I'll vibrate during the meditation. So that's kind of a quick overview of how I use it. It's always ever evolving process for me. But yeah. Does anybody want to share how they use theirs?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that. That's wonderful, and a nice recap. And there's some gems in there that I wasn't aware of. Yeah, I love to start my day with Pure. I haven't been doing that every day, but most days. And then I'll switch over. Like sometimes I'll do so I guess you differentiate the Pink Dot app is the one where you're not required to have the attachments, right? Like you can just have the device itself on you.
Yeah, the Pink Dot, you can have either the wires or you can run it open circuit, or there's the coil, but those are the longer programs.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I've been scanning it. So sorry, I might not have all the Healy terminology with the
Good.
program, but generally I'll just do a scan and see what I need. I've been using a lot of the learning kind of section, and also the beauty program, which I find has been helping with my skin, which is great. It's something that I was aware of, mindful of when I got it. But definitely I feel a lot more clarity of mind and ability to retain information. And also, like, I used to be a fairly regular marijuana smoker, and I haven't like had a desire to at all, which is great. So that's been super helpful. And also coffee. I've completely stopped drinking coffee. So
Wow.
yeah, the Healy has just kind of replaced those things. Which feels great. And then sometimes I also notice that like I'll be kind of like hooked onto it all day, and my partner will be like, he'll circle back and be like, but yeah, no, I just I don't have like a fixed schedule, but generally I like to use both of the apps, the Pink Dot and also the one where you're hooked up.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I had a friend who had like a really bad motorcycle accident, and he completely broke his his like the shin. What's that one bone?
Tibia?
Anyhow, completely separated. He was in the hospital for almost 4 weeks, and now he's back. And I've been running some of the programs on him. We've been doing circulation and pain with the
Mm-hmm.
electrodes on his leg, and at the same time I'm doing Reiki, and he just like he sees such a quick difference. Like he noticeably um, feels the effect of it. So I've been going on a weekly basis, and so that's been really good and helpful. And I would love to get more, well versed with the device itself, so that I could offer this a little bit more as a complement to
Mm-hmm.
the modalities that I offer. So yeah, really grateful for
Absolutely.
really grateful for it.
And you could even run, distance healing with him, where if you put his information into the resonance, you could vibrate those frequencies even if you're not with him. Also doing an analysis around the bioenergetic revitalization, which are stem cell frequencies. So it kind of
Okay.
helps stimulate new growth for him.
Okay. Okay. I
So
need
those
to
would be
get a
really
pen.
amazing too.
I want to write that down.
I actually burned my leg on the Empanada Man's motorcycle muffler last week, and
Oh
it
no.
left like a massive burn on my shin, and it hurt. Like it was so painful, and it's a second-degree burn. Like it took off layers of skin. It looks terrible, but I mean, immediately I set myself up. I put the electrodes on right near it, and I ran pain because I was in so much agony, and it took the pain away immediately. And then I've been running skin frequencies, and I've been running the stem cell frequencies, also immune support, and it's healing so quickly just by using, because all I've been doing is really using the frequencies. And then I was using some polysporin and keeping it covered initially, but within 5 days it was like the new skin had grown back. And I'm convinced that, and I was doing a combination of electrodes on or near, and then also vibrating the frequencies. So, you know, that Healy has this protocol where you can, in acute situations, you can vibrate for 37 seconds, like 6 to 8 times per day. So I've been using it that way as well. It's
Okay.
healed really quickly. It was pretty amazing.
Amazing. Oh, that's so good. Ooh, sorry to hear that happened.
Yeah. It was like a Latin American problem, you know. Anyway.
Okay, so
Thank
stem
you for
cell is the
sharing.
one you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bioenergetic revitalization. If you do run an analysis for him, and then you can vibrate those frequencies for him.
Okay, great. Okay, got some pens.
How about you, Hydron?
Questions. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
couple of questions that popped up to me just by listening. And maybe you can enlighten me. So when you say you can do open circuit with the pink app, what does that mean? I don't think I know about that.
In the Healy Pink Dot app, those are the IMF programs. So those are the frequencies that are going directly into the body. And so, you know, normally we attach with the wrist straps and the wires or else the sticky electrodes, but you can also, you know, you can also take these off and just have it running. Like quite often I don't use the wire. So I just run the frequencies. My body's really attuned to the frequencies now. So I just use it that way. And of course, then there's the coil, right? You could put the coil in and run it all day long.
That's pretty cool because when I was at the gathering last week, I had a headache and I put the electrodes on, and I think I brought the old ones with me, so they kept falling off. And I thought, oh, I'm just screwing this up, but it still worked. So I guess, okay, I thought like I'm not getting the benefit every time they fall off, but I guess I still got them.
Absolutely. And like with my kids, you know, because Healy has some suggestions around using it with or not using it with children. I don't use the wires with my kids. So I have mine on a lanyard and I'll just put it around, you know, put it around their neck and then just run. And like I ran it this morning for my son. He was having some allergies because he had dairy yesterday. And we just ran it open circuit. And after the allergy meridian, all of his symptoms were gone.
Awesome.
So it works. I know it works because I've witnessed it countless times.
Makes sense.
So. But the coil, they say when you use the coil, you can use it more frequently. Like you could run frequencies all day long, essentially, with the coil.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And then when you say, you know, for like acute situations, you run the frequency short, but a lot, right? Can you actually program that, or do you always have to do that manually?
I mean, I do it manually. I think you could program it in the Heal Advisor app where it will remind you. It won't run them, but it'll remind you.
Oh, okay. It will put up, maybe pop up as a notification or something. Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
In the time waver, you can, right? You can program it and it will deliver the frequencies at whatever interval you set it to. But
oh, sweet. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I can share. I've been a big user of the blue dot more than the pink dot. The blue dot I use every day, and it's kind of like I'm like in this pattern. Like I run the analysis twice a week for me and my son. Sometimes when my husband is here, for him too. And then I just make a point that like at least once a day, I run the frequencies, maybe twice, but it's kind of like, you know, like it's kind of a routine. It's kind of our daily self-care routine. And that's been really fun. And then we use like the currencies, the currents, we use them more when something pops up, you know, like when I have my headache or when my, sometimes my son has like back pain from growing. And so it's more like, you know, if something pops up, we have not really made it a habit yet to use those like regularly on a daily basis. It's kind of hit or miss. But we really feel like, you know, just running the frequencies or vibrating them every day has really stabilized things, you know. So that's been really, really sweet. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's nice too. It's amazing, like how things change, right? Like now we've been running them, like, you know, for I don't know, 4 months or something, you know, and like depending on what's going on in your life, it shows up, you know, and then it resonates, you know, it makes it, oh, that makes so much sense that would show up right now. And it's fascinating to see how programs move that show up in your field, you know.
So when you do the analysis, do you just vibrate those 5 that come up?
We do that first, and then we usually pick the 2 most relevant ones, and then analyze that again. And then we tend to run so basically, let's just give an example. So if I scan myself and I come up with gold cycle and let's say job, then I would analyze again for gold and for job, and then the most relevant ones, I'm vibrating those every day until I scan again, like 4 days later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So I have a quick question on this. Oh, just a side note. How do you select? Because I always was under the impression that the 5 that would show up, I just have to run all of those 5 for whatever determined amount of time that I had. I wasn't aware that you could select. Like it doesn't seem like I can pick them.
You can't pick them. So I think what you mean is, Hydron, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but whatever comes up in that list, then you would go and do another analysis using those top 2, like individually, right? So say gold cycle came up, then you would go back to the resonance, select analysis, and then pick the gold cycle. Instead of the all Healy programs, you would select gold cycle and you would run the analysis for that. And then the 5 most relevant in the gold cycle would come up, and then you vibrate those frequencies. Right? Is that how you were doing it, Hydron?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
So basically you're going deeper, Mel, you know?
Yeah.
You have like the overall, and then you just pick the first one and say, okay, I really want to know what program is most relevant in that group of programs.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
I mean, sometimes if I'm in a rush, I'll just do the 5 and I'll vibrate those, right? And then at a later time, then I might dive deeper into the programs. But you could either vibrate those 5 or use that as like a blueprint to dive deeper into each one individually.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. It's also like if I'm doing any distance work with anybody, then I will do the analysis for them, and the 5 that come up, I will do those each individually. Rather than just vibrate the 5, I would go into each one, like using that kind of as the framework of the session that we're doing. And then in addition, if the gold cycle doesn't show up in those 5, I would also do those. I also like to do the deep cycle as a support to the gold, because it's going deeper into the more of the root cause emotional realm. And then I might finish off with one of the energy ones, like the Bach flower or the crystals, the homeopathics, one of those ones.
Awesome. And then your process itself, for when you do the distance healing, you put in the information for the client. You would put your own finger on the scanner, feeling their energy or just connecting with them from there, and then that would be sufficient for the system to capture an analysis.
Yeah, so you want to put in all their information, where they were born, and then their age, and then also attach a photo. Yeah. And then yes, when you put the fingerprint, you're acting as a proxy.
Okay.
So I just make sure that my energy is clear before I do that. So I'll take a couple of deep breaths. I'll have them take a couple of deep breaths. And then I'll have them focus on with what do I have the greatest resonance with now. And then I will touch my finger, and I try to like look at their photo and like make sure that the energy is, going in that direction. I don't think that's necessary, but that's just so that the intention is on its analysis of their information fields.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm just going to take a quick note with that for the points that I would like to add to my current process.
Yeah, and that might be a nice topic to do a whole call on, right? Like how to use the resonance analysis by distance with clients or friends or family or whoever, and to dive deeper into that so that we have a really good understanding.
Yeah, and if you could have a component of that call on like, how do you explain that to them? Like how, for people who aren't like in this kind of woo-woo energy world, like how do you communicate that to them so that they feel it's, a legit possibility, because I do also understand that it's that openness, the belief in it, that will actually allow you to receive the benefits, right? So,
well, I don't know, because I actually think that even if they don't believe in it, it can still work. And I say this because I had a situation with my mom. My mom is she's not super woo-woo. She's, she tends to lean more on the religious side. And she was having pain with her heel that she had had for a year. And she had tried all the things. And I said, well, I have this device, and would you like to try it? And it's, just distance healing. And she was like, I'm willing to try anything at this point. Right. But didn't have a strong understanding of frequencies or energy medicine or any of that. Right. And I ran those frequencies, and her pain was gone after one session.
wow, I love that.
And
Thank you for sharing that story. Yeah, that's great.
So I don't know that the belief or the understanding even needs to be there for the frequencies to work. Right.
Okay.
I mean, I do agree that the openness of it's helpful if they're open to receiving. So, I do instruct them, like, take some deep breaths, just be open to the healing. There's like language that I use in to just kind of facilitate the opening. But I think the frequencies just work their magic.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So just one last thing that I wanted to share was in terms of the presentation. Let me get to the next one now. Let's seem to allow me to go to the next one. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, so just some few additional resources is that in addition to this call, there's a Tech Tip Tuesday that happens at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. And these are really focused on like technical things related to the Healy. So troubleshooting, how to use the technology with greater awareness. So they have a question and answer session. So those ones are great. And then also there's Healy for Beginners and Beyond happening. These two are offered by Healy on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. So this is really about everything from taking the Healy out of the box to how to use the Healy. So this is really meant to just support in terms of product empowerment of like, once you have the Healy and you're running frequencies, or how to get started and have a deeper awareness of the programs and really how to use the Healy to its full potential. So this is not meant to be like a tech support call, and also not providing any medical advice. So really just about everyone sharing of their experience and me sharing my experience of how I've integrated it into my practice. And yeah, so that we all can learn and share and feel like we have that language and that knowledge, right, to be able to share it with other people.
Awesome. Yeah, no, this is great. I'm looking forward to joining the Telegram group.
Okay, I'll add you. I'll add you in, and I'll share the link. I would do that now if I could, but it's lots of things to manage.
Okay.
All right, so I guess if we don't have any other questions, or does anybody want to share anything else, then we can wrap up for today.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Yeah, what a great overview. I've learned so much. It's always nice when somebody presents something